The final trial was meant to forge Kale into a true mage. Instead, his mana core fractured, light bleeding out before it exploded into countless shards. A single heartbeat of silence, then the jeers. His own classmates roared with laughter, pointing at the broken brilliance.
You never belonged here. A shattered core is all the proof anyone needs of your worthlessness.
Take this failure from my sight. Let the wastes swallow what the towers reject.
Rough hands seized him before he could protest, and Kale was thrown headlong through the ancient iron gates. He hit the ground hard, stones cutting into his skin. The gates groaned shut, sealing his exile with a final hollow echo.
I can't feel my magic anymore. Just this empty, burning hole where it used to be.
The sun was unrelenting, baking the dead earth. Kale forced himself onto hands and knees, crawling forward.
Maybe this is what I deserve. Broken and forgotten, just as she said.
But in the deepest part of his shattered core, a stubborn spark flickered, not of magic, but of will. For 3 days, the sun drank his strength, while thirst turned his mouth to dust. Still, he crawled.
Just stop. Let the sand take me. It would be easier than this emptiness.
Then a shape rose from the heat haze, broken pillars and a half-buried archway, older than any magecraft he knew.
I am not dying in this desert. Move. Just move.
He clawed his way into the cool shadows of the forgotten structure, gasping as the stone floor chilled his bleeding palms. There in the center lay a tome bound in cracked leather, its pages pulsing with a faint violet light. The tome's first page read, "Rune magic needs no core, only the will to command the ley lines themselves."
No core. I don't need a mana core. This could be real. This could be my way back.
A shudder ran through Kale's body, and the spark within him blazed into a quiet, desperate inferno.
I will learn this, whatever it costs. I'll carve these runes into my very bones if I must.
The first rune was the hardest. Kale pressed a sharpened stone against his forearm and began to cut, following the tome's precise lines.
The pain is just another kind of weakness. I've survived worse. Focus on the symbol.
Blood welled and dripped onto the sand. But when Kale pushed his will into the wound, a pale violet light answered.
It's working. The ley lines are waking at my command. I can feel them humming beneath the earth.
Day after day he carved. His arms, his chest, his back, each rune a scar of will, a mark of sacrifice.
I am turning myself into a monster, but a monster is what they created, and a monster is what they'll face.
His body grew lean and hard, the skin a tapestry of glowing symbols. The old Kale was dead. This one was forged in pain.
Enough. Let's test this. Leyline, answer my call. Break the stone before me.
A rune on his palm flared. The ley lines surged, and a nearby boulder fractured with a thunderous crack, dust billowing into the air.
This is only the beginning. I'll learn every rune in that tome, and when I return, the towers will remember my name.
5 years reshaped him. Kale emerged from the wastes lean and scarred, his skin a living map of glowing, forbidden script.
5 years of bleeding into symbols. Every rune I carved taught me another way to break their world.
Near a trade road, hushed voices carried on the wind. Traders spoke of the Grand Conclave, a festival of magical supremacy at the towers. A public notice was nailed to a post. The Grand Conclave shall celebrate the eternal age of mana. All who honor the towers are summoned.
The age of mana. That's what they called my shattered core. Just another age to be celebrated. I wasn't sure until now. The Conclave is where I'll show them what a broken core can truly do.
Kale turned toward the distant spires. Each step was measured. each rune a coiled spring waiting to snap.
They forgot me. They probably think I am just another skeleton in the wastes. Their arrogance will be their undoing.
The city gates loomed ahead, banners snapping in the wind. The conclave had begun, and every mage in the realm had gathered.
Perfect. Let them all be there. I'll carve my answer into the heart of their celebration.
Kale passed through the massive gates, his hood low. No one spared him a glance amid the flood of pilgrims and mages.
So many mages, laughing, drinking, celebrating the very magic that was ripped from me.
The square glittered with enchanted lamps and silk banners. Everywhere, the air hummed with arrogance and mana-infused laughter.
Not a single one of them recognizes me. I am just a ghost in their festival.
He lowered his hood. The violet glow of his carved runes bled into the daylight, catching a few startled stares. A woman nearby recoiled, pointing at the forbidden scars. Her cry of alarm sliced through the festive chatter.
That's right. Look, let the rumors spread. I want them to feel unease before they feel pain.
The whispers grew as he walked, a rippling tide of confusion. Some still danced, unaware of the storm approaching.
Now, to the heart of it, the stage where they crowned themselves gods. Thane, Elara, Vors. I'll give you one chance to remember my face before I burn your world to ash.
A trio of young mages blocked his path, their hands already crackling with contemptuous flames, eager to test the intruder.
The broken dog returns. Did you come to beg for scraps, or just to die at our feet?
Kale didn't flinch. He traced a simple cancellation rune in the air with one finger, and every flame winked out of existence.
I am not here to beg. I am here to remind you what you threw away 5 years ago.
A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Elara, standing near the stage, dropped her ceremonial goblet, her face draining of color.
Impossible. Your mana core was shattered. No one can recover from that.
I don't need a core anymore. The ley lines answer to will, not your precious mana.
Thane's sneer curdled into a snarl as he raised his hand for a true spell. But Kale was already moving. With a single stroke, Kale silenced the forming magic. Thane's spell collapsed into a harmless puff of spent air.
Go tell Archmage Vors the exile has returned. I'll give him one chance to surrender the towers before I take them apart.
Thane's face twisted with rage, but before he could cast, a commanding voice silenced the crowd.
You dare threaten our towers, boy? You have no magic, no standing. You are nothing but a failed experiment.
Kale's eyes met the Archmage's cold and steady. His runes pulsed brighter, reflecting his unyielding will.
I am the consequence of your arrogance, Vors. The age of mana ends today, and your towers will be the first to fall.
Murmurs turned to gasps. Some mages edged away, others grabbed their staves, ready for a fight.
Guards, seize this heretic. Let us see if his runes can protect him from cold steel.
A dozen armored guards rushed forward, swords and manacles gleaming. The crowd scattered, leaving Kale alone in the square.
I didn't come here to run. If you want to fight, I'll give you one you'll never forget.
Kale spread his arms, and the runes along his body flared to life. The air around him crackled with power leashed from the ley lines. The first guard lunged. Kale moved like a blur, a single rune traced onto the man's chest plate, and the armor shattered into frozen shards. Kale swept through the remaining guards like a scythe. Each rune he traced sent men flying, their weapons useless against his ancient art. Within heartbeats, the elite guard lay groaning in the dirt. The crowd pressed backward, some mages already fleeing the square.
You banished me for a broken core. Now watch as I break everything you've built.
His words hung in the air, heavier than any spell. Even the grand banners seemed to droop under the weight of his promise.
Enough arrogance. Archmages, to me. Let us crush this insect with the full might of the towers.
The 6 archmages raised their staves in unison. Mana surged in a blinding column, and the sky above the square began to bruise.
This is what I've been waiting for. The moment they finally take me seriously. Good.
Kale's runes blazed violet, and the ley lines beneath the city answered, rushing to his command. A torrent of magical energy, fire and ice and raw force, thundered toward him, forming a roaring vortex.
Let them throw everything they have. I'll show them the true cost of their arrogance.
The elemental maelstrom bore down on Kale, a screaming vortex of fire, jagged ice, and white-hot lightning that could reduce a fortress to slag. But Kale had already carved the storm rune into the air, its intricate lines humming with the untamed fury of the ley lines. The massive spell collided with the rune and buckled, its energy siphoned into the growing tempest above like a river reversing its course. The sky roared in answer. Black thunderheads bloomed like bruises across the heavens, spitting forked lightning that seared the air.
I haven't felt this alive in 5 years. Let them witness what true power can accomplish.
Lightning struck the central stage, shattering the polished marble dais into shrapnel. Archmages scattered like roaches caught in sudden light.
You madman, you'll destroy the whole city with this unnatural tempest.
Only the towers. The city will survive, but not your reign of mana.
A second bolt tore through the grand banner, igniting it. The square became a screaming pandemonium of wind, rain, and terror. Through the chaos, Kale walked, his blazing runes a beacon. The age of mana was ending. One rune, one storm, one fallen tower at a time. Kale stopped and turned toward the nearest tower. His runes flared with purple fury as he raised both hands, a gravity rune twisting into existence.
Fall. You stand on borrowed time and stolen pride. Let gravity remember how you cast me out.
The tower groaned as invisible weight pressed upon it. Stones cracked, and a rain of debris cascaded from the upper floors. But then the ancient wards ignited. Veins of golden light spiderwebbed across the stone, glyphs older than the Archmage's bloodline blazing into view.
These wards, they're not tied to the Archmage's mana. They're anchored in the ley lines as old as the stone they protect.
His gravity rune slammed against the wards, but the golden light absorbed the force, pushing back with a harmonic hum that rattled his bones.
Direct force is useless. They've layered these wards over centuries. I need to find the root, the first rune that binds them.
He extended his will into the ley lines beneath the city, feeling the wards resonate like a tangled net of thorns. Every rune was a link in a chain.
If I can't break them from outside, then I'll drain the power sustaining them. A mana drain, but it will cost me.
The towers still stood, scarred but defiant. Kale looked at his own fading runes and knew the real battle had only just begun.
Kale, stop. Your banishment was never about your broken core. The Archmages discovered your bloodline, an ancient lineage of rune wielders.
My bloodline? So my whole life was a lie. They didn't just cast me out. They tried to erase my existence.
Force told me to call you worthless. He threatened to exile my entire family if I didn't denounce you. I've carried that guilt for 5 years.
She was a prisoner too, but that doesn't erase the words she spoke. It doesn't bring back those years in the waste. Why tell me now, when I stand on the edge of destroying everything you were forced to protect?
Because I still love you, Kale. I couldn't let you become a monster without knowing that there was once a reason.
For a heartbeat, the storm seemed to pause. Then Kale pulled his arm from her grip, his face a mask of cold resolve.
Love didn't save me then. It won't save the towers now. Your confession only confirms that this rot runs deeper than I imagined.
Elara stood frozen, rain plastering her silver hair to her cheeks, the weight of a decade of lies crashing down.
No more distractions. The wards will fall, and with them, every last lie they built on my bones.
You think this tempest impresses me? I've kept a forbidden spell for 5 years, waiting to erase you completely.
Thane tore open a grimoire bound in human skin, and black void magic erupted from his hands, a spell that consumed light and life itself.
A void spell, twisted and desperate, but I have a rune that silences even the deepest abyss.
Kale drew a silence rune, its lines burning bright. The void magic reached him and simply stopped, unraveling like thread.
Impossible! My magic! I can't feel it! What have you done to me?
The silence rune had not only deflected the spell, it had permanently severed Thane's core, leaving him utterly mundane, worse than Kale ever was.
Please, I'll do anything. Don't leave me like this. Kill me instead.
You live with your shame. Now, crawl away and tell the others what awaits them.
Thane slumped face down in the mud, sobbing like a child. The once proud mage was now less than a broken tool.
Thane was only the beginning. The archmages will taste the same emptiness before this day is done.
The 6 archmages raised their staves, chanting in forgotten tongues. Golden chains of light erupted from the ley lines, spiraling toward Kale.
By the Founder's Pact, we bind you, Rune Breaker. This sealing array has held demigods. You are nothing.
A sealing array. They're burning their own mana to power it. This is more than mere wards.
The chains lashed around Kale's arms and legs, searing his skin. His runes sputtered, fighting the suppression with defiant violet light.
Can't trace runes like this. I need to break even one link, just a moment of freedom.
Struggle, boy. The more you fight, the tighter it binds. You'll be a lifeless husk before the sun sets again.
The array constricted, forcing Kale to his knees. Each chain pulsed with the combined will of the archmages, crushing his defenses.
I won't die here. Not after everything. I'll burn every rune I have if I must.
The ley lines beneath the city screamed in response. Kale's runes flared with a catastrophic brightness that cracked the array's outer ring. But the archmages poured more mana into the array, reinforcing the chains. Kale was trapped, and time was running out. Within the crushing array, Kale made a choice. He would channel every rune at once, even if it burned them from his skin.
If I hold anything back, I die here. Better to lose part of myself than let them win.
His runes ignited in a blinding, unified surge. The ley lines answered, and the entire array trembled.
You wanted to see my power, Vors. This is the price of your arrogance.
The sealing array shattered like crystals struck by lightning. Golden chains disintegrated into wisps of light. Kale stood free, but his body screamed. Several runes had gone dark, the skin where they had been now just raised scars.
3 runes. Gone forever. But I am still standing. The wards will pay for each one.
He staggered, catching himself. The archmages stared in horror as their ultimate binding failed.
No more chains. Now, let's see how their towers fare without their precious mana.
Kale's remaining runes pulsed faintly, but his will was a forge. The hour of the mana drain had come. Kale raised his scarred hands and began to trace a rune of impossible complexity, one that devoured everything it touched.
This is the forbidden symbol, the Manadring. Once I finish this stroke, there is no turning back.
The moment the final line sealed, the air screamed. A vortex of unseen force spiraled outward, leaching color from the world. His own runes became the fuel. One by one, They snuffed out like candles, each loss a white-hot brand of agony.
Take it all. Every last drop of mana this city ever hoarded.
From the mages in the square, visible streams of blue energy were torn from their cores, spiraling into the mana drain's maw.
4 runes gone. 6. But the drain is working. The tower's lights are guttering.
The tower's golden wards sputtered, drained of all sustenance. Ancient stones groaned, and deep cracks spidered across their heights. The archmages stood paralyzed, their mana stripped away, their staffs now mere dead wood in trembling hands.
This is what a broken core can do. Now, watch your world crumble.
The main tower groaned, its foundation giving way. A shudder ran through the city as centuries-old stones screamed and cracked. With a roar like a dying giant, the first spire toppled, sending a tsunami of dust and debris across the square.
I did it, but look at the cost. My runes are almost gone. Was it worth it?
Mages scattered, their robes now just rags, their staves clattering uselessly. Without mana, they were just frightened people. The second tower followed, its collapse shaking the very ground. The Grand Conclave had become a graveyard of ambition.
This is the price of their arrogance. But I didn't expect to feel so empty.
Fours stood apart, his once imposing figure now a shell. He watched his legacy crumble, his eyes hollow. Kale walked through the chaos, his remaining runes just faint glimmers. He had won, yet victory tasted like ash. The towers continued to fall, one after another, as if the age of mana itself was collapsing, never to rise again.
It's over, but my runes are gone. I am free, yet powerless. What do I do now?
Through the settling dust, Kale's eyes found Vor's. The Archmage was on his knees, surrounded by the wreckage of his ambitions.
Do you remember? 5 years ago, you called me a failed experiment. Now look at your towers.
Kill me then. End this farce. I won't beg for mercy from a rune-scarred beast.
Kale's hand lifted, and a solitary rune, the last bright spark on his body, flickered to life.
Death would be a mercy. I'll give you what you gave me, a life without magic.
He pressed 2 fingers to Vors's forehead. The rune flared, and a stream of residual mana was ripped from the Archmage's core. Vors screamed as his eyes dimmed, the last vestiges of his power torn away. He aged decades in seconds.
No more magic for him, forever, just like me.
Vors crumpled to the ground, a withered old man with nothing but memories of power and the weight of his crimes.
And my runes, only scars remain. But I did what I came to do. The age of mana is ashes.
The chaos quieted. Kale stood atop a mound of shattered stone, scarred and exhausted, yet every eye in the square was drawn to him.
You are free now, free from the towers, free from the tyranny of mana. But freedom without purpose is just another prison.
Some faces twisted in fear, others in wonder. A young girl with a broken core clutched her chest and leaned forward.
For those who were told they were worthless because their cores never kindled, I have another way. Rune magic needs only will.
He lifted his scarred arms, the faint remnants of his runes still visible. This is the cost, but also the key.
I won't rule you. I won't even stay. But the tome that saved me still exists, and I will share its secrets.
A murmur spread. The word runes passed from mouth to mouth, a new hope flickering in the shadow of the fallen towers.
It will cost you. You'll carve power into your own flesh, but no mage will ever lord over you again.
A few, those with nothing left to lose, stepped toward Kale, their eyes burning with desperate hope.
My part is done. The age of mana is over. Now it's up to you to build the Age of Runes.
As the crowd began to disperse, a single figure pushed through. Ilara, her silver hair tangled with dust and tears.
Kale, please. Is there any chance left for us? After everything, after the truth, can we start over?
You spoke the words that shattered me, Ilara. The truth doesn't erase 5 years of exile.
Kale reached into a pouch and pulled out a small, smooth stone, a single glowing rune etched into its surface.
This is all I can give you, a key to your own path, if you have the will to carve it.
Ilara's fingers closed around the stone, its warmth a sharp contrast to the cold lump in her throat.
I don't know if I'm strong enough to walk this road alone.
Then you'll learn, just like I did. Goodbye, Ilara.
He walked away without looking back, each step a silent severance of the last thread that bound them. Ilara clutched the rune stone to her chest, its light a fragile beacon in the ruins of their past. Not far from the square, Kale spotted Thane slumped against a fallen pillar, his fine robes reduced to muddy rags.
Kale, please, I can't live like this. I'd rather be dead. Just end it, or give me back my magic.
You mocked my broken core. Now you understand the emptiness you celebrated, but I won't grant you release.
Kale's gaze passed over Thane as if he were a piece of debris. Just another wreckage of the old world.
You are not worth another rune. Live with your shame, as I lived with mine. Maybe you'll find a different strength.
Without a word, Kale stepped over Thane's outstretched hand and continued down the debris-strewn path.
Come back, please. I'll serve you. I'll do anything. Just don't leave me like this.
Kale didn't slow. The sounds of Thane's sobs faded behind him, swallowed by the silence of the shattered city. Thane collapsed face first into the mud, his cries turning to ragged, broken whispers. He was nothing now. Kale walked on, his scarred body carrying the weight of his choices, but no longer the weight of the towers, far from the shattered city. In a quiet village untouched by the conclave's shadow, a new dawn painted the sky in hopeful hues. A young apprentice, her mana core long since broken, paused her work. A whisper danced at the edge of her senses. She followed the pull to a weathered wall. There, carved into old stone, a rune glowed softly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Her trembling hand reached for a carving tool. If the exiled one could bleed for power, so could she. The first line was agony, but she pressed on. Then a pale violet light answered, and her eyes filled with tears. The rune's light spread across the wall, and other broken instruments, a plow, a broken staff, began to hum in response. In the village square, an old book titled The Age of Mana was cast into the fire. A new, blank tome waited to be written. Far away, Kale walked on, his faint runes barely visible. He did not look back, but a small smile touched his lips. In his wake, the seed of rune magic took root. By morning's light, a dozen more hands reached for carving tools. The age of mana was over. The age of runes had begun, born not from cores, but from scars, will, and the courage to start anew. In a village hut, a boy stared at his empty palm, where mana once lived. A whisper, soft as wind through reeds, stirred. He followed the pull to a mossy stone in the forest. There, a rune pulsed faintly, like a buried heartbeat. Trembling, he picked up a shard of rock. If the exiled one could bleed for power, so could he. The first cut was agony, but he pressed on. A violet light answered, and he laughed through the tears. By week's end, a dozen hands in that village bore the same rune. The whisper had become a call. In the square, Children traced glowing symbols in the dirt. An old man smiled and cast his dead staff into the fire. The ley lines, dormant for ages, hummed with renewed purpose. Every rune carved was a note in a rising hymn. Far away, Kale paused on a ridge. A fledgling rune's light, like a distant star, brushed against his scars. He turned and walked on, his footsteps leaving faint rune trails. The map of his pain had become a guide. In the village, a rune-carved plow glowed violet as it broke the earth. The age of mana was over. The age of runes had begun.